There's a quiet ache that follows every accomplishment, every love, every dream. A hush that whispers, "Is this all there is?" Kierkegaard called this the sickness of endless wanting, a hunger the world can never satisfy. Tonight we sit in that ache, letting it breathe, because sometimes the yearning is not a flaw, but a sign of a deeper hunger, a longing for something the world cannot give. And in that quiet space, we might find that what we've been chasing was never out there at all, but waiting softly within. Step gently into this odyssey of longing, where we delve deeply into the timeless dance between our desires and the unending chase for their fulfillment. Desire is an ancient symphony, a motif through the corridors of our existence, brushing softly against the fabric of our lives. It stirs like a delicate wind, whispering the promise of unexplored lands beyond our sight. This journey is not an escape from yearning, but an invitation to understand its voice, to trace the trails it imprints upon us. Much like footprints on a shore that stretches infinitely, desire paints our days with hues of infinite potential, each moment weaving a promise of something just beyond the reach of our fingertips. As the echoes of yearning resonate within, we must pause and ask, what is it truly seeking, and what is revealed in the endless pursuit of satisfaction? Kierkegaard reminds us that we are despairing creatures of desire. Our souls reach perpetually beyond the present moment, forever chasing shadows of fulfillment. This is not a failing, but a poignant reflection of the human journey. It speaks to our essence, to the conviction that answers linger just out of sight. Kierkegaard's words offer not a solution, but a bridge to introspection, a dialogue about how this insatiable longing becomes a reminder of our fragile, beautiful existence. Beneath the worldly glitter of wealth or success lies a soulful yearning for connection, understanding, completeness. The paradox of having everything yet feeling incomplete leaves many in the limbo of wanting. It is here, within this beauty and tragedy, that we glimpse the interplay of identity and self-worth. In exploring these depths, we unlock a doorway to growth, where the ache of desire carries transformative potential. Longing walks beside us as a faithful companion through life's intricate chapters. At times it comforts us, and at others troubles the stillness within. Its whisper edges each moment with both the promise and tension of the unseen, unknown. The art of befriending longing transforms its presence from adversary to ally. Cultural narratives often portray longing as a flaw amidst contentment. Yet, if nurtured, longing reveals narratives of past dreams and future hopes, painting an ethereal silhouette of unrealized experiences. As a poetic muse, it critiques and reflects the human soul's essence. The companionship of longing invites us to explore the enigma of inner life, acknowledging the ache not as an affliction, but as a subtle guide towards life's mysteries. Desires often breach the tangible, transcending into realms of metaphysical longing for connection, understanding, and participation in life's deeper narratives. This transcendent yearning dares us to explore sacred intersections of the ordinary and divine. Beyond material constraints lies a journey where desires beckon us toward a richer tapestry of existence, where love, creativity, and spirituality merge with the ethereal compass of purpose. Peeling away layers of worldly attachments opens a path to self-discovery that shifts focus from acquisition to authentic engagement with life's profound mysteries. Transcendent yearning reminds us of endless possibilities within, sparking a quest towards wholeness unseen by the naked eye. Moving inward reveals the intricate web of desires woven from experiences, fears, and aspirations. Within the heart's sanctuary lies a constellation of silent dreams and stories yearning for acknowledgement. Every craving offers insight into subconscious drivers, the unspoken emotions and narratives longing to emerge. With gentle curiosity and vulnerability, we navigate this interior landscape, learning the whispers of our longings. Each step adds depth to the map of our souls, where desires become intricate tales of unfinished quests. Introspection reveals the nuanced dance of more profound wisdom lying within yearning, urging a transformation of core desires towards intentional balance, authenticity, and wholeness. Desire, with its duality, presents itself as both a liberating force and a potential snare. It urges us to pursue life's boundless vistas, liberating creativity and action. Yet, when unchecked, desire can become obsessive, entrapping us within relentless cycles. This paradox mirrors our internal struggle, reflecting layers of empowerment and constraint. By acknowledging and transforming desires into intentional paths, we transcend their grip, turning yearning into liberation. This dance navigates the delicate interplay of balance where freedom and longing coexist, revealing their interplay as a catalyst for expanding self-realization. The notion of never enough invites us to accept imperfection beyond unattainable perfection's futile allure. Within life's authentic imperfection lies a journey into self-acceptance that dissolves the rhetoric of scarcity. Through this understanding, we transform unfulfilled desires into opportunities for growth and understanding, reframing them as spaces for becoming, not lacking. By embracing our imperfect narratives, the pursuit shifts from deficiency to exploration of identity, offering resilient acceptance within each moment's potential. Desire, reframed as an invitation, guides us toward deeper inquiry and authentic expression, transforming desires into reflections of our values, truths, and aspirations. It invites us to explore beneath superficial wants, engaging a dialogue with the elemental questions shaping our existence. With nurturing depth, desire charts courses unique to each soul, celebrating the dance between inquiry and meaning. In this dance, longing evolves beyond external gratification, becoming a quest toward deeper internal harmony and wholeness, merging dreams with soulful inquiry, revealing desires as catalysts for transformation and growth. In the vast expanse of the modern world, choices stretch before us like an infinite ocean, each wave a potential path, whispering promises of fulfillment. We find ourselves adrift in this sea, longing for the perfect choice that unlocks life's secrets. Yet, paradoxically, this abundance becomes a peculiar kind of captivity. Kierkegaard saw through this. He understood that the more options we have, the less satisfied we become. For each choice made shadows countless others unlived. It's a delicate dance of either or, where every decision feels like a door closing to another world, perhaps one that holds the true answer to our restless yearnings. Caught between these waves of freedom and fear, we are left in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. Haunted by the paths we never took, the modern landscape presents a paradox, an abundance of choice that clashes with our limited time and resources. Each decision feels heavy with existential weight, as though selecting a path not only charts a course, but also shapes our very essence. Within this ocean of possibilities, we find not liberation but a cage, where satisfaction is ever out of reach, transforming our pursuit into a relentless chase, never a place of rest. This overwhelming landscape often leaves us paralyzed, a state where infinite options lead not to action, but to inaction, a paralysis born of regret and anxiety over choosing incorrectly. Our minds are not designed to navigate endless possibilities effortlessly, with each decision requiring energy and emotional investment. The momentum of choice falters, leaving us adrift like a vessel with sails caught by indecisive winds. Satisfaction drifts further from our grasp, a distant echo that taunts us as we linger among unchosen paths, haunted by the life not lived. The siren call of alternative realities tempts us with fantasies, each potential life promising release from the mundane confines of our present existence. Daydreams whisper of roads not taken, where we imagine fulfillment waiting just beyond reach. These imagined worlds draw us away, leading us to believe that happiness lies elsewhere, in a place untouched by our current imperfections. Yet this allure casts a shadow over the life we inhabit, projecting our deepest desires into realms that, by their nature, can never match the richness of our actual experience. Kierkegaard's philosophy delves deeply into the either-or dilemma, where choices force us to confront the stark consequences of our decisions. Each fork in the road presents potential outcomes, demanding we weigh freedom against limitation. The act of choosing not only tests our resolve, but carves our identity with each turn. The journey through this dilemma demands deliberate reflection, aligning with our values and understanding that every choice reflects who we are and aspire to be. In reconciling with the either-or, we embrace decision-making not with fear, but with faith in our capacity to choose well. As we reach for contentment amidst boundless options, satisfaction emerges as an elusive mirage, ever receding from our grasp. We convince ourselves that the right choice will grant eternal happiness. Yet as we grasp at satisfaction, it slips through our fingers like sand. This cycle fuels the narrative of not enough, where each decision becomes another step in the unending pursuit of more. Existential wisdom offers a compass, guiding us to see satisfaction not as a destination, but as an ongoing journey, untethered by external achievements. By shifting our perspective, we discover that true contentment is an internal state of acceptance and presence. Our myriad choices often fracture us, pulling us in divergent directions, like a tree stretching its branches toward conflicting desires. Each choice may lift a fragment of our being into fulfillment or consign another to neglect, dividing us within. In this tug of war we fracture, uncertain of which path leads to wholeness. This disarray calls out for coherence, the grounding force of a united direction. Here, evolution unfolds not by accumulation but by focusing inward, simplifying, and seeking a harmonized core that transcends vacillating options. Amid endless choice, we often overlook the emancipating power of limitations. Paradoxically, constraints provide a framework within which creativity flourishes, leading to deeper fulfillment. Limits ground us in the present, fostering clarity and focus, much like an artist finding freedom within a medium's boundaries. This shift in perspective views choice not as confining, but as a sculptor shaping our life's masterpiece, where from restraint emerges mastery and from boundaries liberation. At the heart of this challenge lies a sense of inner freedom, a tranquility undisturbed by external multiplicity. Here, freedom becomes an inner alignment with authentic desires and values, guided by self-awareness rather than external choices. This freedom transforms the tyranny of choice into an avenue of enlightenment, where satisfaction arises from a place of deep resonance. As we awaken to this truth, we embrace a liberation grounded not in circumstance, but in being. Nestled amidst the chaos of choice, simplicity offers a profound wisdom, where life's complexity finds clarity and genuine contentment unfurls. Simplicity is about presence, not renouncing wealth, but embracing the richness of experience. By focusing on what truly matters, we welcome joy into our existence, discovering that true satisfaction lies not in the number of options, but in the depth of connection. In crafting our lives with deliberate intent, we become both artists and architects of our reality. Intentionality sees choice not as an end, but as a means to build a meaningful narrative. Every decision a brushstroke, each moment a cornerstone. With thoughtfulness, we balance aspiration with limitation, finding authentic fulfillment resilient against life's unpredictability. As we navigate with intent, we step from the shadow of infinite choice into the light of self-determined joy, painting a masterpiece of becoming that resonates with balance and grounded purpose. In the delicate, dimly lit world of our inner reflections, we find ourselves often entranced by the shimmering illusions of lives lived to perfection. These images, broadcast to us through the relentless tides of modern connectivity, form a treacherous landscape of social mirrors. Here snippets of curated triumph and surface-level joy float past like exotic fish in a vast and unknowable ocean. The origins of this comparison dance back to our ancestors, whose survival hinged upon understanding one's place in the tribe through the eyes of others. Yet now this biological compass has been twisted into a mercurial creature of envy and doubt, leaving us to wander among echoes of others' successes. When we confront these mirrors staring too long, they distort our own sense of worth. They cast a shadow that falls across our inherent value, allowing us to mistakenly believe that only through others' lenses can we measure our personal greatness. Each smile captured, every moment of staged bliss, seems to whisper a promise of completeness, perpetually denying us solace in our unfinished narratives. We, as social creatures, yearn for validation, a yearning that becomes tangled in the artifice of external approvals, forging a binding chain not of connection, but of perpetual dissatisfaction. Within this illusion, envy quietly weaves itself through our thoughts like a thief in the tranquil darkness, slyly whispering fallacies that others' gains somehow equate to our own loss. It tempts us to believe that the path to joy must be walked alongside those who appear victorious. In this fog, our achievements are obscured, diminished in stature by an imaginary hierarchy. Happiness eludes us, as we chase not the dreams of our authentic selves, but the reflections cast by someone else's spotlight. This relentless pursuit turns a blind eye to the abundance already resting in our outstretched hands, refusing to acknowledge that we carry within us all we need for fulfillment. As we chase the fleeting spectre of perfection, driven by those polished reflections, we often find our spirits lost within this unforgiving pursuit. The mirage persuades us that unblemished moments are within reach, igniting an obsession that erodes the joy of imperfection. Yet the stories shared with us are fragments, their harmonies missing the notes of struggle and failure that compose the symphony of existence. These tales, stripped bare of their context, impose unreachable standards, tricking us into believing that completeness lies just beyond the horizon if we too could but perfect ourselves. Caught in this cycle of self-rejection, we are led to believe our true worth is held hostage by external measures. We construct identities with shaky foundations, born of societal mirages, forsaking the genuine in favour of the fabricated. The self we fashion from comparison's grip serves not to nurture, but to estrange us from our own intrinsic beauty and authenticity. Each attempt to fit into these imposed ideals deepens the wound of inadequacy, while the truth of ourselves lies dormant, awaiting recognition beyond the mirrored lies. Only through cultivating a garden of self-compassion can we dismantle these barriers and return to the solace of our own narratives. Carl Jung spoke of the shadows within us, those neglected fragments we hide from conscious view. In the realm of comparison, these shadows dance as insecurities and self-doubt. Yet their presence offers not just challenge, but also promise. By gently inviting these shadows into the light of acceptance, we begin a sacred journey towards wholeness, stitching together the scattered pieces of our fractured selves. This process transforms admiration for others into a reflection of dormant potential within, allowing us to see that the qualities we envy can be nurtured into strengths uniquely our own. To embrace a sense of wholeness is to stand firm in the storm of external validations, recognizing that fulfillment does not reside in mirroring another's path. This embodied wholeness flourishes in the acceptance of our complete selves, woven from a tapestry rich in diverse threads of experience. Perceived flaws no longer signify failure, but instead become vibrant strokes in the grand picture of our lives. Envy and comparison lose their grip, replaced by a celebration of our individual stories, uniquely crafted and irreplaceable. Our self-worth grows resilient not through the eyes of others, but from roots anchored deep in our personal truths. By shining light on what truly defines us, unclouded by societal expectation, we reclaim the narrative of our worth. With this understanding, envy gives way to empathy, competition to connection. Each encounter is a testament to shared humanity, grounded in the knowledge that no external force can diminish the richness of the journey that is ours alone. Practicing non-attachment offers liberation from the cycle of comparison. It invites us to experience life's richness without tying our identity to transient achievements or external validation. This practice opens a path to profound peace, where we seek joy not in eclipsing others, but in the authenticity of our unrepeatable stories. Through reflection and mindfulness, we nurture a sanctuary from the influence of deceptive mirrors. Here we engage not in judgment, but in gentle understanding. We meet each moment as it comes, aware and present, unburdened by comparison. This conscious living allows us to savour the nuanced beauty of now, deepening our connection to both self and world through a lens clear of illusion. Finally, we embark on the journey of becoming, a continuous flow towards authenticity. We let go of seeking an illusory end, embracing instead the wisdom found in each unfolding moment. Through this sacred dance of being and becoming, we discover life's true gift, the inexhaustible potential of our truest selves, ever growing and endlessly becoming. In the soft glow of evening light, the notion of autonomy twinkles like an enticing mirage. We are drawn like moths to a flame by promises of boundless control, a solitary captain at the helm of one's fate. Yet, as Kierkegaard might whisper, questioning the very fabric of this idea, is the essence of true freedom found within the abyss of countless choices, or is it but an allure, a phantom we chase without end? In this Western tableau, autonomy is often hailed as life's crowning jewel, yet in its pursuit we often dismiss the tangled threads of our interconnected existence. Our lives, woven into the tapestry of humanity, suggest that this dream of separation may be nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion. As we traverse through this land of infinite possibilities, a gentle tension grows, an undertone of anxiety beneath the facade of liberation. We stand at a crossroads, the roads diverging infinitely, each step laden with latent whispers of what if and what could have been. Choice, the once cherished beacon of liberty, now shows its dual nature. It mirrors back a burden, a heaviness born from the fear of making the wrong turn. And so we wade through a river of options, where freedom becomes entwined with regret, casting a shadow upon genuine contentment. The art, then, rests in discerning which doors to leave closed, embracing the imperfections that accompany every lingering pause. True freedom, perhaps, exists not amidst the cacophony of endless options, but within the thoughtful narrowing of paths, where intention guides each step, not in haste, but in quiet deliberation. In this delicate balance, we find a richness unknown in the labyrinth of myriad choices. Could it be that our striving for autonomy locks us within a gilded cage, obscuring the beauty of simplicity and depth? The journey beckons us to release the grip on controlling every thread of our tapestry, and to engage with fewer, more meaningful choices that resonate with the core of who we are. The weight of autonomy can press heavy on our shoulders, at times a burden, at times a liberation, hinging upon our embrace of it. This society, one that equates independence with achievement, often pressures us to stand unyielding and alone against the winds of fortune. Yet within this solitude, autonomy offers a precious opportunity, a chance to reconnect with what truly matters, nurturing the seed of resilience and personal growth. With humility, we learn to dance with life's unpredictability, accepting vulnerability as an essential companion in the saga of authentic freedom. As we peer behind the masks we wear, casting a discerning eye upon the identities we construct, are they fragmented reflections forged by external influence, or do they echo the true essence within? A brave heart is needed to question these layers, carved by the knives of expectation, to peel back the illusions painted in the colours of society's whims. Stripped bare of illusion, we may glimpse an identity formed not by superficial choice, but by a profound sense of genuine being, a revelation of self, unfettered by the weight of falsehood. Self-sufficiency too dangles its deceitful promise before us, a siren call of independence. Yet what of the grander tapestry of human existence, interwoven with threads of connection? The richness lies in the spaces between, in the moments of shared laughter and the gentle support of others. In the pursuit of autonomy, we risk severing these vital ties, blind to the gifts of community, empathy, and shared humanity. By acknowledging our shared journey, we redefine autonomy as a celebration of interconnectedness, rather than a solitary march toward isolation. The act of surrender, Kierkegaard suggests, paves the way to freedom. By embracing limits, we uncover the boundless expanse of our potential, not in the incessant quest for perfection, but in the soft acceptance of enough. Wisdom emerges in the gentle art of recognizing when to strive and when to embrace stillness. Here, beneath the surface of ordinary life, autonomy finds its true shape, a dance within life's graceful boundaries, where letting go is not defeat but wise liberation. In the theatre of choice, courage stands as the unwavering hero. through shadows of regret and tendrils of fear, we find the bravery to choose authentically, lighting the path with the flicker of our own truth. Courage is not reckless abandon, but a steadfast heart, choosing in alignment with soul's whisper. With open arms, we receive fear, not as foe, but as companion, freeing the potential hidden beneath the layers of hesitance. In the end, we journey beyond illusions to discover the essence of authentic freedom. These veils, woven of choice, perfection, self-sufficiency, fall away, revealing an autonomy that breathes softly in the spaces in between. As the journey unfurls, perhaps it is here, in the quiet embrace of our limitations, that we find the sacred dance of freedom itself, a gentle, timeless unfolding. The gentle dance of life unfolds, revealing the transient nature of joy. Like a delicate blossom that blooms only to fade, joy seems to slip through our fingers the moment we notice its presence. It is this impermanence that whispers a poignant truth. The more urgently we cling to our pleasures, the more keenly we sense their fleeting nature. Each exquisite moment, bright as a shooting star, tells of its impending departure, leaving a poignant residue. We sit there, aware of time's swift flight, yearning not just for more moments, but for a magic to hold them forever. Yet it is this longing that can turn our lives into a restless pursuit, where we chase the echoes of past joys and rush toward future promises that seldom fulfill. In this hurried dance, we often miss the moment itself, overlooking the quiet beauty of simply being present. Kierkegaard, in his soulful wisdom, spoke of how our awareness of passing time amplifies this desire for permanence, feeding our restlessness. The question arises softly, how do we find peace amidst this temporal tide? Perhaps by embracing the ephemeral nature of joy, instead of yearning for its eternity, we learn that its very transience is what makes it precious. As beings aware of time, we are tangled in a web of anticipation and nostalgia. Unlike creatures that dwell solely in the present, our minds explore futures and pasts, enriching us with layers, yet shackling us with yearning. The future beckons with possibilities and fears. The past pulls us with memories sweet and bitter. This duality deepens our yearning for what might be, often casting shadows over the now. Our conscious awareness transforms experiences, complicated yet vivid. Each moment is weighed not just on its merits, but on its potential permanence, shadowed by the haunting knowledge of its brevity. Time's relentless passage can stifle if we let it, or it can invite us toward deeper presence. When we release time as an agent of control and see it as a guide, embracing moments with genuine sincerity allows us to experience richer, more meaningful presence. This journey calls for us to reshape our embrace of life's transience. By welcoming fleeting moments, we begin to perceive impermanence as a tender gift, not a looming threat. The eternal longing blinds us to the blessings before us. Mindfulness whispers, urging us to be fully attuned to the present, experiencing joy untarnished by the ache for permanence. Grounding ourselves in stillness allows us to savor moments as rare gifts, thankful for their appearance rather than regretting their passing. In these quiet acknowledgements, we are invited to witness each moment as an unrepeatable connection. Let go of the quest for permanence. Embrace imperfections and transient beauty. This realization is an acceptance of life's impermanence, nurturing gratitude. Each experience is a fleeting gift, promising new beginnings in every end, where resting in the ephemeral dissolves the unrest that shadows our existence. The restless pulse of future longing, often breeds dissatisfaction with the present moment. Deferred contentment becomes a cycle, as happiness hinges on unachieved future visions. This dreaming pulls our focus away, leaving a chasm between where we are and where we think fulfillment awaits. Kierkegaard warns of living too profoundly in the future, neglecting the present's richness. Our human disposition for hope and creativity both frees and binds us. While hope fuels dreams, it can enslave us in expectation. Yet embracing the paradox that future aspirations motivate, while present mindfulness fulfills, frees us from longing's treadmill. Accepting this tension allows us to rediscover inner serenity amidst time's flowing current. Life's pleasure and pain intertwine like vines, spiralling endlessly in and out of our grasp. In our quest for delight, we find pain as its shadow, when anticipation meets the reality of its transience. Once tasted, pleasure carries the knowledge of its expiry, shadowing our experience with the fear of its loss. This understanding complicates our striving, tinting our moments with anxiety. Navigating this dance requires questioning if our chase for bliss seeds future distress. Might there be harmony in accepting both pleasure and pain? In shifting perception, embracing them as part of existence, we turn to existential teachings, learning that acceptance of duality nurtures tranquility within the ceaseless current. Echoes of past experiences reverberate through our present, colouring interactions with memory's hues. Shadows linger, hues of joy and unease filling the present. This echo taints the experience with restlessness, forging a sense of being trapped by what has been. Introspection invites us to face these echoes compassionately, transforming their weight into guiding lights. By examining memory through a lens of understanding, transformation blooms as we move from passive recipient to active architect of our unfolding tale. Embracing both shadow and light of the past, we craft a richer narrative in the fleeting present. The art of present-mindedness rests not just in awareness but in deep engagement. Calm the restlessness time stirs. Living in the moment allows us to savour the subtleties of every experience, embracing life without the continual tug of past regrets or future hopes. It becomes a meditation, a tranquility where self and moment merge. Immersing in this practice softens our relationship with time, no longer marking minutes but weaving experiences of depth and meaning, wallowing in fleeting inspiration's embrace. The restlessness fades, replaced by a hushed stillness that echoes softly, each moment savoured like whispered secrets to the soul. In the dim corners of our minds, there lingers a quiet refrain, the whisper of self-doubt. What's wrong with me? This question, both subtle and persistent, doesn't spring from the world outside but from a deep-seated sense of inadequacy that anchors itself when contentment feels like an elusive dream. Our culture, which glorifies the chase for perpetual attainment, suggests that satisfaction can be engineered through achievement and material gain. Yet therein lies the paradox. As we continuously reach for more, we nurture the belief that who we are in this moment is not enough. This inward dialogue of perceived deficiencies transforms introspection into episodes of self-reproach, cycling the pursuit of remedies for dissatisfaction into an ever-deepening well of scarcity. Psychologically, self-doubt often arises as the mind's strategy to rationalise unfulfilled desires. When reality doesn't align with expectations despite our efforts, it metamorphoses into internal criticism. Here, Jungian philosophy provides insights. This internal judge is an archetype of the shadow, a repository of unacknowledged fears and insecurities. It emerges as a protector, but is often misguided, seeking to shield us by pinpointing and attempting to rectify imagined flaws. Yet instead of fostering growth, this condemnation compounds the anguish it seeks to alleviate. Understanding this dialogue as a misinformed guardian rather than an infallible truth is the first step towards diminishing its grip and nurturing self-compassion. Embedded deep within many of us is the haunting spectre of perfectionism, the notion that flawlessness is attainable and necessary for worth. This belief, a relic of cultural conditioning, measures value through rigid dichotomies of success and failure. Perfectionism, while cloaked as ambition, enforces a narrative where only ideal outcomes validate self-worth. The expectation of infallibility binds us to cycles of discontentment and self-criticism, with pursuits focused more on validation than authentic fulfillment. The existential thinkers like Kierkegaard remind us that imperfection is not a flaw, but a vibrant, indispensable part of existence. Through embracing our imperfections, we redefine mistakes as opportunities for learning, forging paths towards self-acceptance that acknowledge vulnerability as a fundamental aspect of being human. Like a vine that tightens its grip, self-criticism chokes the potential for joy, often masquerading as motivation while breeding emotional turmoil and paralysis. It suggests conditional self-worth, where acceptance is contingent upon meeting almost unreachable standards. To break free from this cycle, one must recognise the distinction between the inner critic and the self. Here, mindfulness offers a gentle pathway, a disciplined attention to the present without judgment, allowing for the observation of self-critical thoughts without the weight of belief. This practice isn't about silencing criticism entirely, but balancing it with compassion, akin to pruning a vine to allow room for growth, rediscovering intrinsic strengths, and nurturing the soul's capacity for resilience. The intricate dance of self-blame weaves complex emotional threads through early experiences and societal expectations. It often serves as a default response to unmet aspirations, enticing a cycle of guilt and recrimination. This narrative acts as a form of control, suggesting that were we only better, outcomes might change. Yet this perspective ignores the wide array of external factors influencing our lives and diverts focus from growth to self-focus. In dismantling self-blame, understanding its roots is essential. Acknowledging it as a strategy for maintaining a sense of justice and predictability in an unpredictable world, albeit at the cost of a self-perception tangled in shame and anxiety. Compassionate self-inquiry becomes a vital practice, viewing each internal experience with kindness and curiosity. This approach seeks to understand the needs beneath our critical voices, transforming them from persecutors to informants, nurturing empathy and leading us toward acceptance. By asking gentle, reflective questions, the narrative shifts from flawed analysis to one that celebrates the completeness of our human experience. This practice is about integration, accepting every facet, and connecting with a more forgiving self, cultivating an inner landscape rich with resilience and grace. In shifting the lens of enoughness, we embrace it as a construct of perception rather than a tangible state. Under the constant encouragement to strive, recognizing that enoughness is defined internally shifts focus from absence to presence, fostering a balance between aspiration and contentment. This mindset becomes a dance between yearning and peace, encouraging a gentle harmony that appreciates imperfections. Shadow work further leads us toward embracing the disowned aspects of ourselves, transforming internal criticism into opportunities for growth, illuminating the path to authenticity by accepting and reconciling with the psyche's hidden depths. Emotional alchemy allows for the transmutation of self-accusation into growth. By engaging with emotions as energy and motion, what once held us back becomes a catalyst for insight. Through mindful presence, emotions like shame or guilt are acknowledged, not resisted, and viewed as opportunities for transformation. This practice fosters emotional resilience, reframing deficiencies as openings for healing. And finally, the quiet power of self-forgiveness unfurls like an ancient story whispered by firelight. It grants us the grace to accept past mistakes, releasing us from the courtroom of self-judgment and allowing us to embrace our wholeness. True peace arises not from chasing perfection, but from knowing we are intrinsically complete, breathing in concert with life's rhythm, ensemble, and yet gloriously enough within our own sacred selves. Kierkegaard reveals to us a nuanced understanding of despair, distinct from the modern lens of clinical depression. Within his existential philosophy, despair emerges as an inherent part of the human condition, the soul's silent recognition of its own incompleteness. It lingers like a whispering shadow, unseen yet ever present, reminding us that the self we construct is but a fragment of the wholeness we deeply crave. Unlike a fleeting sadness or temporary sorrow, despair resides within the existential core, a subtle yet constant ache urging us toward a fuller understanding of our being. Despair possesses a paradoxical nature. It feels like a weight upon the spirit, yet simultaneously acts as a beacon, inviting us toward deeper self-realization. To acknowledge despair is to embark on a journey of grappling with our limitations, providing an opportunity for growth and transformation. It is not a personal flaw, but rather a universal aspect of human experience, urging us to examine the spaces between our desires and perceived realities. When embraced, despair becomes a catalyst, driving us to integrate the seemingly disjointed parts of our psyche and altering our perception of ourselves and our position in the universe. As a silent catalyst for self-discovery, despair urges us to venture into the shadows of our consciousness, where our true selves often hide. Despite our tendency to suppress it, mistaking introspection for weakness, acknowledging despair presents a profound opportunity for inner exploration. It raises questions about our values and the authenticity of our life choices, compelling us to peel back layers of ego and societal expectation to reveal a more enduring truth. As we confront the abyss of uncertainty, we plant the seeds of genuine self-discovery. Within despair's depths, we discover an invitation to confront our own freedom and the constraints we bind ourselves within. This transformational potential dissolves traditional boundaries, providing access to undiscovered aspects of our being. No longer an enemy, despair becomes a guiding force in our quest for wholeness, urging an ongoing dialogue between the self and its shadow. This duality echoes the shadow work in Jungian psychology. On one hand, a spirit dulled by resignation. On the other, a force illuminating hidden facets of our psyche. By engaging despair from this perspective, it becomes an alchemical process where the darkness, once understood and integrated, transforms into self-awareness and growth. This interaction invites us to revisit our approach to life and to accept the shadow rather than shy away from it. It reframes despair not as an endless abyss, but as rich terrain ripe with potential for insight and evolution. To engage with despair effectively, embracing vulnerability becomes essential. Often hidden behind emotional armour, protected by denial and distraction, despair fears exposure as weakness. Yet, Kierkegaard highlights vulnerability's role in truly absorbing despair's lessons. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for authentic emotion, acknowledging limitations and confronting fears. This courageous act lays a foundation for meaningful connections, both with ourselves and others, creating a refuge where shared vulnerability fosters empathy and compassion. The yearning within despair is the soul's call for connection, not only to others, but to something greater, an integration with the divine or a source of spiritual wholeness. This longing arises from realizing that despite social affiliations and achievements, solitude can persist. Despair reveals the gap between individuality and communion, urging us to seek relationships resonating at the soul's frequency. It calls for authentic relationships imbued with empathy, where the self is free to be genuine and vulnerable. In this space, despair becomes a shared experience, a communal bridge uniting us in our search for belonging and meaning. Kierkegaard views despair as a guide to authenticity, compelling us to strip away facades and illusions. It demands we re-evaluate the roles we play and the stories we tell ourselves. By welcoming despair, we embark on self-discovery, uncovering truths about our character and identity, reclaiming authenticity by standing firm in our truths. Despair offers a mirror reflecting unmet needs and desires, urging us to respond with commitment to inner integrity. This realignment fosters a life resonating with genuine purpose, cutting through societal impositions to find harmony with our deepest values. Despair, when transformed, becomes creative energy, a means of crafting meaning in life. It beckons us to fill the void through imaginative endeavours, catalysing personal and collective change. Creativity manifests through new ideas, perspectives and pathways, urging us to reinvent ourselves in response to the soul's call. Despair's energy is sublimated into a force inspiring reflection and evolution, guiding us towards contentment and creativity. Despair occupies a spiritual dimension in Kierkegaard's philosophy, pointing towards spiritual awakening and growth. It suggests a need for a connection to something transcendent, surpassing mere material existence. This spiritual inquiry invites meditation and contemplation, integrating inner and outer worlds, enriching life with spiritual depth. As despair invites us to claims of hope and possibility, the dance between despair and hope mirrors life's duality, where darkness births light. Despair informs hope, guiding us towards healing and new beginnings. Ultimately, despair serves as an invitation to pursue wholeness, to integrate light and shadow, inviting us to a life reimagined, where the journey itself is a testament to human resilience and transformation. In the quiet soliloquy of seeking existential freedom, we often cling to the anchor of rational certainty, believing it to be the steadfast pillar upon which a meaningful life stands firm and immovable. Yet Kierkegaard whispers a different truth, urging us to find true freedom not in the rooted safety of reason, but rather in a tender, daring leap into trust, a kind of leap beyond the confines of our understanding. This trust is no blindfolded excursion. It is an invitation to embrace uncertainty with open, courageous arms. Imagine standing at the edge of a precipice, the view obscured by an enigmatic fog. The decision to leap forward is fueled by a belief in something far greater, something veiled and intangible. To live fully is indeed to engage in this life-affirming leap, trusting in the mysterious journey, in the art of becoming. Such trust strips away the illusion of control, the notion that through sheer will and meticulous reasoning we can master life's complexities. In surrendering this illusion, we find solace in the unpredictable nature of life's tapestry, acknowledging our own inner contradictions and uncertainties. In this acceptance, the paradox breathes life. The freedom we restlessly seek reveals itself only when we cease our desperate quest to possess it. This enfolding trust pivots our world from scarcity to abundant potentiality, teaching us that while complete understanding may always elude us, a profound sense of meaning dances within the heart of mystery. Yearning, an ever-present whisper in the human soul, propels us toward growth and transcendence, seeking the light behind life's intricacies. Yet, when yearning crystallizes into fixation, it constrains our aspirations, obscuring the present's subtle beauty. Rather than clutching onto any ideal with fervour, we are called to learn the artful dance of yearning without fixation, recognizing longing as an essential part of existence, while allowing it to coexist with freedom and openness. In this delicate ballet between desire and release, we find equilibrium beyond simple binaries of having or not having, discovering wisdom in life's gentle middle ground. This balanced engagement with life's complexities fosters acceptance of the present's imperfections, while still nurturing the seeds of future possibility. Desires, like a nurtured garden within the self, thrive when tended with care, not suffocating order. Life's myriad possibilities bloom wondrously when free from the stifling grasp of fixation. In holding desires lightly and allowing them to breathe, life's bounty of unexpected gifts unfolds naturally. Yearning, when unbound by rigid demand, elevates us to a dance of existential freedom and creative engagement, a path rich with the potential for joy. The insatiable whisper of never enough grips us, an echo both self-imposed and spoken by the world around us, suggesting some critical element remains ever outside our reach. This belief fuels a cycle of endless acquisition and pervasive dissatisfaction. Yet, within the silence of embrace, where we allow ourselves to linger in the discomfort of incompletion, we might glimpse true existential freedom. This is where we nurture an inner sense of enoughness, a quiet recognition of abundance within the present's simple truth. Loosening our grasp on deficiency, we engage with existence from a place of inner plenitude, treating each moment not as a frantic quest for missing pieces, but as a sacred narrative of what is already whole. The self thus transforms from a perpetually yearning vessel to an expression of dynamic unfolding. In this liberation lies profound release, a gentle acknowledgement that emptiness itself can be a cradle of abundant becoming. In the serene embrace of paradox, we discover growth through engaging with life's contradictions, strength within vulnerability, fulfillment in letting go. Kierkegaard suggests that authenticity arises from the weaving together of such opposing forces, embracing the entirety of our experiences. This recalibration of perspective transforms existential dilemmas into fertile soil, cultivating the richness of our internal world rather than distress. Within life's paradoxes, complexity invites us into profound transformation. As paradox weaves through personal narrative, we walk the subtle path between life's extremes, inching closer to our truth. By surrendering to the unfolding dance of paradox, personal growth evolves from conflict to journey, a harmonious journey toward existential unity. As we journey, existential tolerance blooms, a gift facilitating our serene dance with uncertainty and complexity. Kierkegaard honours this acceptance of the unknown, contending that our lives can unfold richly without the safety of definitive answers. Within this serene acceptance, our dialogue with the universe becomes less adversarial, leading us gently through the unknown's fertile spaces, unveiling contemplative paths of understanding. Embracing this existential tolerance, life's uncertainties transform from voids into canvases, where wisdom unfurls in the present's eloquent mystery. By embracing impermanence, we deepen our appreciation for fleeting moments, transforming encounters into sacred verses. Life's passing nature becomes an invitation to savour the temporal as the essence of life, guiding us toward purpose, revealing profound meanings in life's transient moments. Faith then becomes our pathway to paradox, a bridge linking today's shadows to tomorrow's illuminations. Kierkegaard views faith as an unveiling force next to reason, guiding us confidently through life's mysteries. Within the paradox, faith illuminates unseen pathways and nurtures resilience, aligning us with a world where interconnection softly sings. Finally, the unknown, often perceived as a shadow, becomes a transformative force. In embracing it, we step into dimensions of undiscovered self, finding renewal amidst mystery. By surrendering fear and aligning with life's grand narrative, we awaken to an existence rich with unbounded possibilities, becoming living testaments to the endless journey of becoming. In the sacred dance with paradox, we find ourselves blessed, wrapped in nature's eternal embrace, a luminous tapestry spun across the horizon of our deepest imaginings. In the delicate dance of existence, we often tether ourselves to the illusion of absence, blind to the vibrant tapestry of the present moment unfurling before us. This paradox arises not from what's missing in the now, but from our deep-seated habit of reaching forward, grasping for what might come next, believing it holds the promise of greater fulfillment. To fully inhabit this moment is to wade into a vast sea where what we perceive as absence becomes a fertile canvas of potential, a quiet stage where life whispers its abundant offerings in the silence. Within this stillness, Kierkegaard's insight surfaces. The true essence of the present lies in its dual nature, complete unto itself yet ever in motion. Each heartbeat echoes life's rhythm, a fleeting yet eternal symphony. Recognizing this completeness, we break free from the tyranny of idealism, no longer viewing life as a sequence of unmet milestones, but as a continuous miracle unfolding. By embracing this paradox, we escape the grip of expectations, inviting us to live within the mystery, not just survive its uncertainties. Here in the sanctuary of the now, we don't confront a void. Instead, we encounter a sacred fullness, encouraging us to surrender to the mystery of the present. In our relentless quest for perfection, we often bypass the unrefined beauty that imperfection weaves into our lives. The relentless societal chase for flawlessness distorts our worldview, whispering that happiness awaits in the flawless future, not in today's imperfections. To discover a sense of enoughness in the now, we must embrace these imperfections, the crooked lines, the fragmented pieces, as integral strokes in our authentic narrative. These flaws don't signify inadequacy, rather they plant seeds of profound transformation, offering lessons to those who face them with courage. Embracing imperfection isn't about surrendering, it's recognizing the fullness of life amid its cracks where light enters, It's in these imperfections that we find the rich tableau of our humanity, a shared vulnerability binding us together. In the present, imperfection is relished, not remedied. It is the deviations and unexpected departures that add depth and colour to our experience, transforming them into bridges that lead to a deeper appreciation of sufficiency and wonder. In a world often fixated on no, the barriers, the limits, the closing of doors, the simple act of saying yes is nothing short of revolutionary. It defies the inertia of anticipated rejection, fear, and dissatisfaction. Accepting the present moment with a resounding yes is to embrace life with all its enigmas, imperfections, and wonders. It is a radical gesture opening the floodgates to endless possibilities. This yes is neither passive acquiescence nor blind acceptance, but a vibrant engagement with reality as it is, inviting abundance and warmth to dwell within us. To surrender to the present, a notion all too often misunderstood as weakness, is an act of profound empowerment. Surrender is not submission. It is a dynamic state honouring life's mystery and our interconnectedness. It is the quiet strength of aligning ourselves with a wisdom that transcends understanding, where we let go of the need to control and allow the present to shape our perceptions. Within this openness lies a profound potential, nurturing seeds of insight that blossom into understanding, connection, and a deep and abiding peace. Holding in harmony the balance between letting go and holding on requires attunement to life's rhythm. A harmonious dance. Holding on honours the joys and connections that enrich our lives, while letting go accepts the impermanent nature of all. This dance is a testament of trust, acknowledging that living truly means embracing the fluid, changing tides of experience. It is in this gentle balance that we find enoughness, recognizing the abundance we carry within, transforming our constant yearning for more into a realization of the riches already in our grasp. Mindful reflection opens a gateway to deeper communion with the present moment. This isn't an exercise in judgment, but an open-ended exploration of life's gentle unfolding, a dance with our thoughts and emotions. In this reflective space, we unravel the threads of longing, finding instead a rich tapestry woven with now's intrinsic current. It invites us to slow our rush towards future aspirations, pausing to embrace the subtleties of now. Through this path of patience and discernment, enoughness is revealed, where each moment embraces us and asks only to be wholly lived. Cultivating wholeness through presentness is a ceaseless practice of becoming, a weaving of our jagged edges and shadow truths into the fabric of who we are. We accept every part of our identity, acknowledging our joys and struggles as integral threads in our human tapestry. Wholeness is not a destination, but an ongoing embrace of self-love and awareness, where grace and imperfections coexist. In recognizing this kaleidoscopic view of self, every moment holds potential for subtle transformation, making wholeness a present act of balancing presence and unfolding. In this sacred narrative unfurling softly before us, we rediscover the quiet power dwelling in enoughness, ever present in life's gentle whispers of now. In the echoing depths of life's endless journey, we find ourselves enticed by the illusion of arriving, of reaching a point where all pursuits are deemed finished, and we are finally enough. Yet, like chasing the horizon, true arrival remains a mirage slipping farther away. Kierkegaard's timeless wisdom gently nudges us to reconsider. What if the pursuit itself is the point? A dance, not a destination, where our identity is moulded by ongoing motion. This very yearning for an unattainable finish line traps us in cycles of longing, where fulfillment seems ever out of grasp. We are fed stories that happiness lies in attainment, at the summit of certain milestones, leaving scant space for the richness of the journey. The beauty in perpetual becoming lies in embracing this ceaseless state of growth, untethered by the pressure of tidy narratives. We dance with daily uncertainties, welcoming them as sparks for resilience and adaptability. In the grand ballet of uncertainty, existence becomes an invitation to engage with life's inherent unpredictability. This is no passive surrender. It's a vibrant dance with the unknown, where questions are valued over rigid answers. The soul releases its need for consistency, reveling instead in unpredictability's unfolding story. As we weave through life's unknowns, flexibility becomes our ally, reshaping fear-based resistance into a curious inquiry. Amid these transformations, identity emerges fluid and limitless, evolving rather than static. It is not confined by labels or roles, but a tapestry of experienced being. As life seasons change, our identity shifts, embracing new aspects without being anchored to past selves. This understanding liberates us to explore our multifaceted existence, where authenticity is the quest, not the finite goal. Surrendering to life's flow becomes an act of conscious acceptance, aligning us with its natural rhythms. Here, surrender is active, not passive, an immersion within life's unfolding rather than an orchestrated endeavour. Each moment approached with grace unveils the serendipitous and spontaneous beauty of being. Through this surrender, liberation from perfection's constraints is found, opening creative space for exploration. In experiencing this rich tapestry, we come to honour the paradoxes we encounter along the way, those sacred dualities framing human experience. It's a landscape where light dances with shadow and chaos rests alongside order. By understanding life as complex rather than simplistic, we appreciate the deeper interplay within life's contrasts. Kierkegaard guides us here, urging us to live within these paradoxes, fostering a sense of unity amidst diversity. Through the lens of vulnerability, we uncover strength in what is often perceived as weakness. By bravely exposing our humanity, we forge deeper connections, attaining a profound sense of belonging. This vulnerability doesn't signify exposure or fragility, but a journey into the rich depths of introspection and connection, fostering genuine openness with ourselves and others. Reflective self-inquiry stands as a beacon, leading us into wisdom and transformation. It's a silent dialogue with the soul, peeling back layers to reveal authentic selves beneath. Through reflective questioning, we dismantle limiting beliefs, harnessing the potential of our unfolding narrative. Insights gained illuminate our intrinsic motivations, guiding us toward life's deepest values and purposes. The practice of mindful presence acts as a gentle anchor, mooring us within the richness of now. It invites us to savour each moment, a quiet invitation to step out of mental noise into the serenity of being. As we yield to presence, clarity emerges, revealing the subtle nuances of experience. This cultivates a deeper appreciation for life's simplest yet most profound manifestations. Embracing imperfection with compassion becomes the heartbeat of this journey. In releasing the illusions of perfection, we recognise the uniqueness gracing each soul, a shared terrain of flaws that bind us. Compassion extends inward and outward, nurturing self-acceptance and freeing us from ceaseless striving. These imperfections become portals to growth, with self-compassion teaching us to honour our wholeness without anchoring to ideals. Finally, as the symphony of life plays, we find ourselves part of a dynamic, ever-evolving masterpiece of growth and transformation. Each note of life's music is unbounded by rigid finales, instead a testament to creativity and potential. In accepting our unique roles within this grand orchestra, we contribute vibrantly to its unfolding melody. The symphony is no solitary endeavour. It weaves us together into a tapestry of shared experiences. This concludes our soulful journey of exploration, where the rhythm of our lives embraces becoming. A reminder that the path itself is more than enough, rich with potential for beauty, growth and transformation. As you float back into this world of perpetual becoming, immersed in its alluring mysteries, feel invited to stay connected on this channel's journey by liking and subscribing, so together we can continue exploring these sacred stories of existence.